Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhīṣmadeva, he performed this vrata, Bhīṣma Panchak, a very intense vrata, during his lifetime. And then he left his body during a time called Uttarayan, which all of you know very well. So during this Bhīṣma Panchak vrata, it is described when devotees do any activity, any spiritual activity, they get multifold benefits. Ideally, we should do bhakti throughout the year, or chalo at least in the Kartik month, or at least in the last 5 days of Kartik. More number of rounds, more reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, more deity worship, offering ghee to the Lord, inviting devotees home and feeding them. In fact, many devotees in the month of Bhīṣma Panchak, for 5 days they do nirjala fasting. I know some devotees like that. In our congregation also we have devotees like that. And then the second level, the first level is nirjal. And second level is having only roots and fruits. Potato, sweet potato. Fruits also, that which does not have many seeds. So few seeds all of fruits, like apple, etc. And then after that is the third level is having havishanna, a sort of preparation of rice which has got some vegetables and all that. अभी उसके नीचे तो daily जो भी खाते हैं बच्चे और तो कुछ नहीं. The point that I want to make here is just imagine how intense the bhajan is, how intense the vrata is. Therefore, anyone who observes these 5 days, they are given a lot of merit, and Bhīṣmadeva did this vrata. Therefore, in these 5 days, it's very important to glorify Bhīṣmadeva by glorifying his prayers, which he offered to Krishna when he was there on the deathbed. You can imagine, Bhīṣmadeva is on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra. This bed of arrows, which is sharp, bed of arrows was soft nahi. Bed of arrows, sharp arrows, and on that Bhīṣmadeva is there. And then on his head also there are arrows. And at that time when Yudhishthira Maharaj, other Pandavas and and Krishna when they came, so Bhīṣmadeva, he started looking at Krishna and he started offering prayers to Krishna. These are 11 verses which are there. So we'll cover 2 verses today, continuing our Bhīṣma Panchak series. Again, very, very intense verses. And the bottom line of every verse is the same. And we'll try to see that bottom line or Moola Vakya. And let's see if we can implement in our day-to-day life also. Please repeat after me. Vijaya-ratha-kuṭumbha ātta-totre dhṛta-haya-raśmini tac-chriyekṣaṇīye bhagavati ratir astu mumūrṣor yam iha nirīkṣya hatā gatāḥ sva-rūpam. Now Bhīṣmadeva, when he's there on his deathbed, all the time he's just remembering Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra. Please hear this very carefully now. And on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra, Krishna became the chariot driver of Arjuna. And Arjuna's another name is Vijay. Now this Vijay's Rath is called vijaya-ratha here. And whenever Bhīṣmadeva wants to remember Krishna, he's remembering Krishna in relation to Arjuna. Why? Because Arjuna was always there. He was always there with Krishna. So in this way, we see Bhīṣmadeva is glorifying Krishna in relation to Arjuna. Therefore, he uses the word vijaya-rathe, vijaya-sakhe, partha-sarthi. Everywhere Arjun's name comes into picture. And here also, we see that Bhīṣmadeva is using the word vijaya. So one thing is very important in our life also. We are able to connect with the Lord through some devotees. I'm sure all of us sitting here will have at least one devotee in our life who connected us to Krishna. So if today we are there in the association of devotees hearing Krishna Katha, Bhīṣmadeva's glorification to Krishna, it's for sure because of some devotee who pulled us into Krishna consciousness. I always say this, at least that was my case, and I'm sure all the devotees, unfortunately, who heard my class and who have come into devotional service, I'm sure we will also belong to the same category. We were not searching for Krishna. Krishna kothai, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? And then ISKCON devotees says, come, here is Krishna. I don't think this happened. Devotees just pulled us to Krishna consciousness. Or another nice word is we bumped into the association of devotees. And then someone held us and started doing follow-up. Prabhuji, Mataji, class mein aa rahe ho na? And then they connected us to Krishna. And we see the base of all the devotees in ISKCON is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada. It's only because of him we have clarity of what next to do in Krishna consciousness. And whenever any devotee is practicing bhakti in ISKCON, there are only few questions which are asked to that devotee. What are the few questions? First question, how many rounds you're chanting? This is the first question that will be asked. And if the devotee is not chanting 16 rounds, the next question will be asked, why are you not chanting 16 rounds? Here everyone is chanting, no? 16 rounds? Okay, good. The next question that is asked is, are you coming to the program regularly? Who is your mentor? This question, who is your mentor, who is your guru, is something which is asked always. And all this facility that we see around is only by the mercy of Śrīla Prabhupada. So beautifully it is sung by one of the Prabhupada disciples. Jade Prabhupada na hoito, tabe ki hoito, jivana bahita ki she. If Prabhupada wouldn't have been there, what would have happened to us? What would have happened to us? Surely, like this, we would have not come to a place, for a kirtan party. We would have gone for some other party for sure, dressing in nasty clothes, eating nasty food, and drinking nasty drinks. It's only by the Prabhupada's mercy that we all come together, we discuss Krishna Katha. That statement of Krishna in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that shloka, 10th chapter, shloka number 9. Please repeat. Macchitta madgata prana bodhayantah parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Many times people outside, they say that we don't understand this Bhagavad Gita, what it is. Because you don't understand because you don't have opportunity and platform to implement the principles of Gita. Now see this particular shloka. Macchitta madgata prana bodhayantah parasparam. It means, Krishna is saying, when my devotees come together, what do? They come together and they talk about me. Bodhayantah parasparam. And when someone does that, what happens? And by the way, what do they talk about? Kathayantascha mam nityam. Whenever they come together, they always talk about me. Krishna is saying. And whenever they talk about me, what happens? Tushyanti cha, ramanti cha. Tushyanti cha, they are very satisfied. Ramanti cha, they are very happy. Now all of you have experienced this? All of us. Whenever we have come to any Krishna Katha, and we have heard Krishna Katha or Krishna's Katha, in either of the case, we have felt that bliss, we have felt that satisfaction. नहीं तो बार-बार मुंह उठा के क्यों आते हैं हम लोग? Correct, no? They directly प्रसाद के टाइम पे आ जाते हैं, जैसे बहुत लोग करते हैं. Phenomena in ISKCON is this: during Katha we will have X number of people, and during prasad we will have 5x, and sometimes 10x also. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita can be implemented only by those people who are there in the association of devotees. And Srila Prabhupada provided us this platform to practice devotional service. Therefore, whenever we go in front of the altar, and whenever we get this thought, how come I came to bhakti? Then you should have the list of names because of these people in my life. Starting from Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, whatever bhakti we are doing, it's only because we have some relation with some devotee. And Bhīṣmadeva is also feeling that. He is having some relation with Arjuna, and with that relation he is addressing Krishna. Hey Vijaya-Sakhe, hey Partha-Sarathi. In this way, in various ways, Bhīṣmadeva is glorifying. Now in this particular shloka, there is one word that is used. Vijaya-ratha-kuṭumbha. Vijaya-ratha understood? Who is Vijay? Arjuna. Ratha? Arjuna's chariot. Now I'd like to ask you all the definition of kuṭumbha. What is the definition of kuṭumbha? Family. Everyone in the family. Anything else? Relatives. Okay. Let me tell you some definition. What is the word ku represents? Ku. Bad. Something bad. Correct. Kuṭumbha. And don't give purpose, I'll give. Stop soaching like Kuṭumbha. What is that? You know what is that? What is Kuṭumbha? As you all rightly said, family. So sometimes when the person is not able to maintain his family by the right means, he takes wrong means to maintain the family, and it is required. So that group of people who are maintained even by wrong means, they are called as Kuṭumbha. How's the definition? So this Kuṭumbha. So Kuṭumbha, so headed by the husband, wife, kids, etc. They're Kuṭumbha. So here Kuṭumbha, why the word Kuṭumbha came here? Vijaya-ratha-kuṭumbha. So Vijaya's Rath, Arjuna's Rath is Kuṭumbha for Krishna. Somehow or other Krishna has to protect Kuṭumbha, that is Vijaya-rath. So you will see in Mahabharata, Yuddha, hook or crook, Krishna saved the Ratha of Arjuna. So it's called as Kuṭumbha. Is that clear, everyone? Yes, why it's called as Kuṭumbha? Now there are various different examples that how Krishna, even when he went in a different direction, seemingly wrong, he maintained Arjuna's Rath. Krishna had promised something. What did he promise? When it comes to Mahabharata Yuddha, there was a great promise that he had taken. मैं शस्त्र नहीं उठाऊंगा. I'll not pick up any weapon. And as soon as Bhīṣmadeva started fighting with Arjuna, so at that time, Krishna looked behind and he saw Arjuna was wiping his face. Because the war was so intense. Bhīṣmadeva was throwing arrows after arrows after arrows, and Arjuna was trying to counteract. Arjuna was not hitting Bhīṣma. He was just trying to counteract the arrows, and he was sweating. And for your information, Krishna took care that in the entire series of the days of the battle that was there, Arjuna shouldn't get any weapon or any wound on his body by any weapon. He made sure. Forget about drop of blood, even drop of sweat was not there on Arjuna's face. And on this day when Bhīṣmadeva was fighting with Arjuna, at that time, sweat was there on the face, and Krishna saw that sweat and he became extremely angry. He jumped from the chariot. He picked up the wheel from the broken chariot and he started running. He started running towards Bhīṣmadeva. And Bhīṣmadeva remembers this. So in the previous two shlokas, Bhīṣmadeva is describing this entire scene, that Krishna came with the wheel, running towards me the way the lion runs towards elephant for a fight. And look at the description. And he says, on the way, so the camera is on Krishna and Krishna is running towards Bhīṣmadeva. And he says, on the way, Krishna's Uttari, this is Uttari, Krishna's uttari fell down. And on the way he was able to see that those arrows which he has hit on the armor, and Krishna's armor had broken, that armor was hanging on the body and Krishna is running with that armor. And on the body there are wounds. Wounds hit by Bhīṣma's arrows. And those wounds with blood, Bhīṣmadeva is saying Krishna is looking very beautiful. This is the rasa in which Bhīṣmadeva is glorifying, because Bhīṣmadeva is in dasya ras, but the secondary ras that is there is the rasa of chivalry or virya ras, the rasa of fighting. So here we see that how Krishna broke his own promise. He broke his own promise. First thing, to save Arjuna or vijaya-ratha, which was his kuṭumbha. And in the battlefield of Kurukṣetra, if you want to know who was the rash driver there, it was Krishna. There's no number written behind. If you find him driving rash, please call this number. He was that rash driver taking the chariot here and there just to make sure that vijaya-ratha-kuṭumbha is saved. Two pastimes which I like to tell here in this context. Karna was in a different mood altogether once in the battle. And he decided that he'll kill Arjuna. And he used a special arrow. And when he released that special arrow, there was a snake named Ashwasena. That snake entered that arrow. Now this arrow's speciality was that when it is aimed at someone, it will go and kill that person. For sure. And who is there in everyone's heart? Krishna is there in everyone's heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam riddheshe Arjuna tishtati. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that, oh Arjuna, I am there in everyone's heart. So he's in the heart of Karna also, in the heart of that snake also. So Krishna knew very well. Something I have to do. Now you know what Krishna did. The fight is going on, and when Krishna understood that the arrow is released from there, the special arrow with the snake, so Krishna stamped the chariot very hard. He stamped the chariot very hard, and at that time the horses went onto their knees, the chariot went down, and Arjuna also came down, and that arrow came and hit the crown of Arjuna, and crown fell down. And Arjuna looked at Krishna. अरे ठीक है चलाना नहीं आता है क्या? तेरा सिर गिरने वाला था, just crown गिरा है. Only mukut has fallen now. So in this way you see Krishna goes to any extent to save Vijaya-ratha. Another very nice pastime again in the Kurukṣetra battle was of Bhūrishrava. There was a person called Bhūrishrava, and he was given a gada, a club, by Lord Shiva. And when this club was given to him, benediction was given to him that you fight with this club, you will be the winner, you will be victorious. But if you use this club, if you charge someone with this club who is not fighting, then you have to face the repercussions, you will be killed. Something like that. This was the benediction. Now again, Krishna is there on Vijay's Ratha. He made sure that Bhūrishrava will not get any chance to hit with that club. Hit Arjuna with that club. This rash driver was taking the chariot here and there, and Bhūrishrava is trying his best to hit Arjuna, but nothing was working. And Bhūrishrava got so frustrated, and he understood this chariot driver is the problem. He took that club and he charged towards Krishna. Now, was Krishna fighting? He was a driver. So that club went close to Krishna and came back and hit Bhūrishrava. Now look at Krishna's all techniques and tactics. He made sure that Arjuna's rath is his kuṭumbha and is saved by all means in various ways. So in this way, Krishna is protecting Vijaya-ratha, considering the ratha to be his own kuṭumbha. Now, Bhīṣmadeva's meditation is going more and more deeper. And he's just focusing on Krishna now. And look at the entire scene that Bhīṣmadeva is describing. Bhīṣmadeva is saying, ātta-totre dhṛta-haya-raśmini tac-chriyekṣaṇīye. Ātta-totre. He's saying that in the right hand Krishna had the whip, dhṛta-haya, and with the left hand he was controlling the horses. So right hand he has the whip, left hand is controlling the horses, and our Acharya, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he writes, because these Acharyas, in their samadhi they can see the pastime going on. So he writes, okay, in the right hand there was whip, in the left hand he was holding the reins of the horses, and with the mouth, Krishna was making sound, hum, 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 giving directions and making sure that the horses are moving in the right direction. And then here it is said, dhṛta-haya-raśmini's ropes, yes, tac-chriyekṣaṇīye. So Bhīṣmadeva is saying that this beautiful scene of Krishna holding the rope and the whip in the hand and making sounds to give directions to the horses, this I have seen. And Krishna was looking very beautiful, very, very beautiful. And Bhīṣmadeva is telling that I am more fortunate than Arjuna. You know why I am more fortunate than Arjuna? Because Krishna was sitting on the chariot, Arjuna was sitting behind. So Arjuna was not able to see the face of Krishna, but Bhīṣmadeva was on the other side, fighting with Arjuna. Arjuna was able to see Krishna all the time, and he was able to see this scene where Krishna is holding the whip in the hand and the ropes in the hand, and he's giving directions to the horses. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went for the South Indian tour, he saw there was one Brahmana, and that Brahmana was reciting Bhagavad Gita. His pronunciation was not that correct. आप लोग बोलेंगे हमारे जैसे तो नहीं. Those devotees are so fortunate, right from childhood, who studied Sanskrit. Those kids who have been trained by the parents to study Sanskrit language and then Bhagavad Gita shlokas, Bhagavatam shlokas, very fortunate. For them it's so easy to pronounce Sanskrit. For us, we have to struggle so much, recite many, many times, then memorize, and after a few days again forget, again memorize. So this Brahmana, he was a Brahmana, but unfortunately he was not knowing how to properly pronounce the Sanskrit verses of Bhagavad Gita. And people around, other Brahmanas who were there, they were all laughing at him. Hey, itna bhi nahi aata isko. Look at him. He's not able to recite Sanskrit shlokas. And this Brahmana who was reciting, he used to cry. He used to cry tears. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to that place, he saw this happening. He went to that Brahmana and he said, "What are you doing?" He said that I'm trying to recite Bhagavad Gita shlokas. Then why are you doing? Because my Guru has told me, every day you should recite Bhagavad Gita shlokas. Why are these people laughing? Because I don't know to recite properly. I don't know how to recite these Sanskrit shlokas properly. And why are you crying? Are you crying because all of them are laughing at you? And at that time, listen to this, the Brahmana said, no, not because of that. Whenever I pick up this Bhagavad Gita, in the front page, when I see this photo of my Lord holding the whip in the hand and the ropes in the hand and giving directions to the horses, being the chariot driver of Arjuna, oh, I'm touched by the Bhakta Vatsalya of Krishna, the Bhakta Vatsalta that Krishna has. That look at my Lord, he's ready to come down to any level just to serve his devotees. He is my Lord. And then he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, looking at this, I'm crying. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him and he said, you have actually understood Bhagavad Gita. You have actually understood Bhagavad Gita. We might go on reciting shlokas after shlokas after shlokas, but this, if we don't understand, then what have we understood? And Arjuna is just instructing Krishna. Arjuna is supposed to be Das of Krishna. Krishna is supposed to be the master Prabhu. But Das is instructing Prabhu, Senayor Bhayor Madhya Ratham Sthapayame Achyuta. Hey Achyuta, please take my chariot between the two armies. And Krishna did that. Krishna did it. And this scene, Bhīṣmadeva is remembering. Bhīṣmadeva is remembering this very clearly and he is thinking, Arjuna did not get to see all this. Arjuna was busy shooting arrows. But I was shooting arrows, but at the same time I was able to see the beautiful form of Krishna. I am very fortunate. I am more fortunate than Arjuna. Now when this entire scene is there, and it is described in the previous shlokas that we have seen, that Arjuna glanced at the army and he went into depression. But when Krishna glanced at the army, you know what happened? Their prarabdha karma was exhausted. And all those soldiers who were there, something special happened with those soldiers. And here in this particular shloka it is said, Yam iha nirīkṣya, whomever Krishna saw, hatā, gatāḥ, sva-rūpam, all of them they attained their sva-rūpa in the spiritual world. Haribol. They all were fighting against Krishna. But since Krishna looked at them and they looked at Krishna, what happened? They all attained their swa-rūpa. कितना आसान है ना? काश हम भी होते उस बैटल में. पक्का हम ऑपोजिट पार्टी में ही होते. We could have got delivered easily. Therefore, one point, which Srila Prabhupada is making in the purport, he says, Bhīṣmadeva wanted the same facility also. So I say, someone is asking, why Bhīṣmadeva is remembering all this incident? Because Bhīṣmadeva is in the other party. And Bhīṣmadeva also wants the same destination. What all these soldiers got. That is going back home, back to Godhead. So in this way, we see that anyone and everyone who was there on the battlefield taking darshan of Krishna, looking at his face, they all got delivered. In fact, Uddhava is telling this in 3rd canto. Please repeat, everyone. Tathaiva chanye naraloka vira ya ahave Krishna mukharavindam netraihi pibanto nayanabhiramam Parthastra-pūtah padamapurasya tatha evacha anye naraloka vira ahave Krishna mukharavindam netrahi pibanta nayanabhiramam. When all those soldiers, they were looking at the beautiful face of Krishna, they were drinking that beauty of Krishna. And then it is said that astra-pūtah padam, Partha astra-pūtah, all of them, they were purified. Look at these words. All those soldiers were purified by the arrows of Arjuna and apuvasya, and they achieved greatest destination because they glanced on Krishna, Krishna glanced on them. So devotees needed to purify us. Then we receive mercy of Krishna. And here we understand Arjuna's arrows purified all of them, and by the mercy of Krishna, they attained eternal destination. So I was just meditating on this point that taking darshan of the Lord is so important in our day-to-day life. So very important. Therefore, we need to have an altar in our home. So when we come in front of the Lord and take darshan of the Lord, there are two things happening. One is that we are taking darshan of the Lord, and many times we keep seeing, kahan hai Bhagwan, kahan hai? Arey altar mein dikh nahi rahe. And more importantly, Krishna is glancing on us. It is described about 3 animals, bird and animal. It is said that when it comes to birds, they with their warmth, they hatch their eggs. And when it comes to the tortoise meditates on the egg and they hatch their eggs. And you know how fishes hatch their eggs? Just by glancing. So fishes are nourishing their offsprings only by glancing. Now just imagine if mere fish can do that. If mere fish can nourish its offspring but just by glancing, can't our Krishna do? Therefore, when we stand in front of the Lord, when Krishna is glancing at us, we are getting nourished spiritually. And all that is there within, all those anarthas are removed. And there's a praman for this. When the Gopas, when they drank the waters from Yamuna, when Kaliya was inside that Yamuna, they all got poisonous water inside them and they died. But Krishna came there, Krishna glanced at them. 2 things Krishna did. First, he removed the poison, and second, he nourished them. So when you go in front of the Lord, 2 things will happen. Krishna removes the poison of the anarthas that we have, and he nourishes us in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, standing in front of the Lord and taking darshan is a great, great, great privilege. Only few people get. And I feel that you and me are those fortunate ones who get this opportunity every single day. By the mercy of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. अगर वो नहीं होते तो altar थोड़ी आता. Without Prabhupada, how can you imagine about any temple in which we are serving in? How can you imagine our altars at home? Not possible. Another very, very important thing, that when we go to take darshan of the Lord, what is exactly happening? There's one sadhu in Vrindavan. There's a very, very famous temple called Bākya Bihari Mandir. And Brajvasi say, अगर बिहारी जी का दर्शन नहीं किए तो वृंदावन यात्रा सफल नहीं है आपका. But then when it comes to us, we have 7 temples of Goswamis. So we say, if you don't visit all 7 temples, your yatra is not successful. So there was one blind sadhu. Every day, religiously, he would go to take darshan of Bākya Bihari ji. Every day he is going, he does not have eyes. He goes and stands in front of the Lord and comes back. There are few kids who are doing masti with the sadhu. And they started laughing. अरे साधु जी आप दर्शन तो लेने जा रहे हैं बट तो आप देख नहीं सकते, आप तो अंधे हैं ना. And the sadhu said, मैं तो अंधा हूं, बिहारी जी को अंधे नहीं है ना, बिहारी जी तो देख पा रहे. So I'm going there not to take darshan, but I'm going there to give my attendance. Oh Lord, I have come. So whenever the altar opens, have you seen devotees raising their hand? Yes, and devotees as telling the Lord, oh Lord, I have come. Hajri laga raha hu main, I have come. Therefore, taking darshan of the Lord becomes more important. More than we seeing, Lord seeing us is very, very important. Another very important thing which I was meditating on, contemplating on was, see, till date in our life, before coming to Krishna consciousness, we have got all the contamination from all around the world. Wherever we have gone, we have seen all nasty things around. All our 5 senses, the knowledge acquiring senses, have acquired amazing knowledge. Contaminated, impure knowledge of various sense gratificatory things in this world. And these sense gratificatory objects which have made impressions on our mind are going to contaminate us and will not allow us to progress on the path of devotional service. Therefore, now it's the time to actively make some positive impressions on the mind. Standing in front of the Lord, it's very, very important to make positive impressions on the mind. Therefore, when we are looking at the Lord, the darshan that we're taking is a very, very important activity. There's a beautiful song called Nandananda Ashtakam, which describes the beauty of the entire form of Krishna. It goes like this. Sucharo vaktra mandanam sukarna ratna kundalam sucharchitanga chandanam namami nandanandanam. So it is said, Sucharu vaktra mandalam. Oh Lord, your face is so beautiful. Sucharu vaktra mandalam sukarna ratna kundalam. So Lord is wearing very beautiful kundal in his ears. Every day we sing Damodar Ashtakam, no? So in that it comes, right? The second line, Lasat kundalam, yes, Gokule bhrajamanam. So Lasat kundalam, so kundal is moving. So here we see Lord is wearing beautiful earrings. And in ISKCON we have fashion designed earrings. So you can see Lord wearing beautiful earrings. Sucharchitanga chandanam. So Lord is anointed by chandan and his face is decorated by chandan very beautifully. Namami nandanandanam. To that Krishna, who is the son of Nanda Maharaj, I pay my repeated obeisances. Sudhirga netra pankajam shikshiki shikanda murdhajam ananga koti mohanam namami nandanandanam. Sudhirga netra pankajam, and the eyes are as beautiful as, no, more beautiful than the lotus petals. Sudhirga netra pankajam shiki shikanda murdhajam, and there is very beautiful Pichi Shikhar, that is more punk, now that is put. And then it is described, Ananga Koti Mohanam. This personality Krishna, he captures the attention of not one Cupid or two Cupid. For your information, Cupid is very beautiful. And here it is said, Krishna is so beautiful that Koti Anangas, Koti Cupids, they fall at Krishna's beauty. And that's why Krishna is called as Madan Mohan. Jo Madan ko moh le, Madan Mohan. And then it is said, Sunasikagramauktikam Swachanda Danta Pantikam Navambudanga Chikanam Namami Nandanandanam. So it is said, Sunasikagramauktikam. So Krishna wears a pearl below his nose. That is nose ring. Beautiful. Sunasikagramauktikam Swachanda Danta Pantikam. Krishna has got beautiful teeth. Very nicely arranged. Nowadays people use clip and all that to arrange it. But Krishna's teeth, properly arranged, like pearls arranged in the entire mouth. When Mother Yashoda, when she was about to feed Krishna, she opened Krishna's mouth to see. Dekho to kitne daat aaye hain. And when she opened the mouth, she didn't see teeth, but she saw the entire universe in the mouth. That's the time when Krishna proved Mother Yashoda, I am that same Supreme Personality of Godhead. But what to do? Mother Yashoda's love for Krishna is so great. She started thinking, maybe my son is haunted by a ghost or I have been haunted by a ghost. And then obviously Krishna closed his mouth and he smiled and Mother Yashoda forgot about everything. Sunasikagra mauktikam swachanda danta pantikam navambudanga chikanam. And Krishna's complexion is so beautiful. It is compared to the freshly formed rain-filled cloud. Now this color is very difficult to make out also. Therefore we paint Krishna black. But that color, that is very transcendental. And I was sharing in another class that Srila Madhavendra Puri, the spiritual master of Ishwara Puri, who is the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he would see the black clouds, he would go mad, crying and crying and crying because he was able to remember Krishna looking at that cloud. Let me see if you can give the right answer. Madhavendra Puri, when he looked at clouds, he remembered Krishna. When we look at clouds, we remember umbrella. What to do? Our situation is so pathetic. All the time we just keep thinking about ourselves, how to safeguard myself, how to do better sense gratification. But look at these pure devotees all the time they're looking at various different things and remembering the Lord. Therefore it is said, Sthavara jangama dekhe na dekhe tara murti sarvatra nija hoye ishtadeva spurti. They don't see Sthavar and Jangam. They don't see animate and inanimate object. What they see is Ishtadev, their Krishna everywhere. And then it is said, Karena venu ranjitam Gati karendra ganjitam Dukula pita shobhanam Namami nandanandanam. So it is described Karena venu ranjitam. In the hands, Krishna has got venu, flute. Karena venu ranjitam. Gati karendra ganjitam. The way Krishna walks is very, very beautiful. Gati karendra ganjitam. Dukula pita shobhanam. And the pita vastra that he is wearing is looking very, very beautiful. Even in Bhīṣmadeva's prayers, exclusively he glorifies Krishna's dhoti. Yellow dhoti, and he says, I still remember that beautiful form of the Lord was wearing yellow glittering dhoti, he says. And then Namami Nandanandam. And the last one. Tribhanga deha sundaram nakhadyuti sudakaram amulya ratna bhushanam namami nandanandanam. So here it is said, Tribhanga deha sundaram. Krishna stands in that threefold bent form. Bent at the feet, bent at the waist and at the neck. And these threefold bent form that is there, once it enters the heart, it cannot be removed. Teda hai na. If you put anything teda in a bottle or whatever, it is very difficult to remove. Therefore it is said, Ek baar to andar Bhagwan ko allow karo. Allow Lord to enter our heart. Then later on Lord will not come out. And that's a fact. Once Lord enters, very nicely in the heart, he will enter as a very, very small person. And then he expands himself as Vaman. And there is no place for anyone in the heart after that. And therefore we see devotees become exclusive devotees of Lord Krishna. So allowing Krishna to enter the heart is something that devotees do by practicing devotional service. And look at the desire of this dying personality, Bhīṣmadeva. He says, bhagavati rati astu me mumūrṣor. He's saying that, oh Lord, I'm about to die. And I have this desire. And what is that desire? May my attraction be only towards Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa. May my mind be always fixed on the Lord. And this is what is expected from every devotee who aspires to go home back to Godhead. Ante Narayana Smriti. At the time of death, one has to remember Krishna. And Krishna also makes it very clear in Bhagavad Gita 8th chapter, shloka number 5. Please repeat. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram ya prayati samadbhavam yati nasti atra samshaya. So Krishna is telling, whoever remembers me at the time of death, smaran, anyone who does my smaran, that person will come back to me, Krishna is telling. So it's very easy to say, I want to go home back to Godhead. But ye bhi to follow karna hai na. And what is that? We have to remember Krishna at the time of death. And Prabhupada writes in that purport, smaran will come only to that person who is having pure mind. And then Prabhupada gives solution also. How to transform impure mind to pure mind? And he says by chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Very, very important. Now if we ask Bhīṣmadeva, तब से केवल अर्जुन के बारे में बोल रहे हो? Only you're speaking about Arjuna? Is it that Arjuna is topmost devotee? Why are you speaking about Arjuna? And Bhīṣmadeva may say, because he is my immediate object of attraction. He's there in front of me, so I'm speaking about him. But is he the topmost devotee? And then Bhīṣmadeva is saying that no. There are some other topmost devotees I'll describe in the next shloka. And those are the gopis of Sri Vrindavan Dham. See, Bhīṣmadeva in Dasya Ras, he's exchanging the rasa of chivalry or virya, Veera rasa, the rasa of fighting. In that also he's remembering the topmost devotees in Vrindavan, that is gopis. There was some discussion in one of the forums where I was giving this class. Devotees are asking, Prabhuji, aisa hai kya? The ones who are in Dasya rasa, they want to upgrade to Vatsalya or Madhurya or something. Actually, there is no question of upgradation in spiritual world. In spiritual world, devotees are happy wherever they are situated. ये सब contaminated concept जो upgradation का है वो केवल यहाँ है. I want to upgrade from this position to this to this. In spiritual world, devotees are satisfied in whatever position they are, and guess what? No one envies any devotee around. If any devotee is serving intimately to Krishna, you know what is the response of other devotees? Look at him, he's so fortunate. He's offering such wonderful seva to Krishna. Wow, very nice. Please continue. Because finally what everyone wants in spiritual world is Krishna should be pleased. By service, Krishna should be pleased. Who does the service is not important. I do it or someone else does, it doesn't matter. But Krishna should be pleased. And therefore it is described in Vaikuntha. In 3rd canto Srimad Bhagavatam, this description comes about Vaikuntha. That all the birds are chirping. But as soon as the bumblebees, they start singing about the Lord. I don't know what they're singing, but they sing. At that time, all the chirping birds, including the very sweet bird, cuckoo, they all stop and they all start hearing the glory sung by the bumblebee. Can you imagine? A bumblebee ka and koyal ka coo. Just imagine both of them are so different. And obviously koyal ka sound is much better than that of bumblebee, but all the birds stop singing. And what do? They stop singing and start hearing only bumblebee. Can you see there is no envy? No one is telling, Arey chup kar. What is this? Besur awaaz ekdam. Looks like your associates coming together and doing kirtan in house program. This is called as spiritual consciousness, Vrindavan consciousness. Therefore, there is no competition. If you ask Hanuman, you want to be in Madhurya Rasa in Vrindavan? Do you think Hanuman will agree? Hanuman will say, I am happy here serving my Lord in Dasya Rasa. This is how devotees are satisfied in their respective rasa, in their respective mellow that they are exchanging with Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this way, in this particular shloka, Bhīṣmadeva, he covered various points. He covered the first point, and that was the kutumbha. I'm sure no one will forget the definition of kutumbha after this. That how in whatever hook or crook, Krishna protected vijaya-ratha. The second thing that we covered was about the meditation that Bhīṣmadeva has, and it's so wonderful. And we also made this point that the soldiers who were there on the battlefield, they attained that highest destination in the spiritual world just because they were looking at the Lord. And finally, what is Bhīṣmadeva's prayer? I am a dying man, O Lord, let my mind be always fixed at your lotus feet in your beautiful form. And now when this question was asked, so you're saying Arjuna is greatest devotee? He is great, no doubt. But then there is someone who is much greater than them, is the gopis of Sri Vrindavan Dham. And that is the next shloka. Please repeat. Lalita gati vilasa, valguhasa, pranaya nirīkṣya, kalpito, rumanaha, kritam, anukritavatya, unmadandaha, prakritim agan, kilayasya, gopavadvaha. So here this last description for today. Lalita gati vilasa valguhasa. So now the first point is that suddenly when this question was asked, that who is the greatest of devotees? Why did Bhīṣmadeva say gopis? And we have a praman for that. Please repeat. Very, very famous shloka by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Vakalpita Śrīmad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumartho Maha Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabho Matamidam Tatra Dharana Paraha. So it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's opinion. What is that? Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam. Who is Aradhya Bhagavan? Who is that personality who should be worshipped? Vrajesha Tanayas. Vraja Ishas Tanaya. That is Nanda Maharaj's son. And who is that? Are bolo? Krishna. And he in Vrindavan should be worshipped. Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadum Vargena Vakalpita. What is the best form of worshipping Krishna? That worship which gopis offered to Krishna, that is the best form of worship to Krishna. Śrīmad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. Amal Purana. That is very pure, without any contamination. That Purana whose name is Śrīmad Bhagavatam is Praman, is proper Praman. And what is the goal of life? Premam Pumartho Mahan. Krishna Prem is the goal of life. And who is saying this? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here is a praman where it says Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadum Vargenava Kalpita. So the gopis, the service that gopis offered is the topmost service, and therefore these devotees are topmost devotees. Therefore gopis are considered as topmost devotees. And Prabhupada writes that gopis were endowed with unrivaled opportunities for rendering loving service to the Lord. Now the services that gopis have offered to Krishna, this is very difficult to understand also, because their selfless mood is on a very, very different platform. Their only thing is Krishna should be satisfied. We all have heard this very wonderful pastime. We'll hear it again for our purification. Krishna in Dwarka sitting with a headache. Yes? I sometimes wonder, to establish Tattva, Krishna is ready to do all drama possible. And Narad Muni comes there, and Krishna is sitting with a headache. And Narad Muni is asking, oh Lord, what happened to you? And Krishna is saying, bahut sir dukh raha hai. Yes. And immediately you would have given some headache medicines to Krishna. But Narada knew very well this medicines will not work for him. There is something else that is needed here. And he asked, oh Lord, tell me what is the medicine for you? He said, please get the dust. Please get the dust of my devotees' lotus feet. Dust of the lotus feet of my devotees. When I apply that raja on my forehead, then things will be fine. Now Narad Muni could have given his own dust, dust of his own feet, but he understood, ye main nahi kar sakta. If Krishna applies the dust of my feet on his forehead, I will go to hell. So Narad Muni didn't. He went to Shiva, he went to Brahma. They all denied. They said, no, not possible. Mad or what? We'll remove dust from our feet and give it to the Lord, and he'll apply on his forehead, on his head. We are supposed to take his feet and keep on our head, and you are talking about taking our dust and putting on his head. Not possible. They denied. And then Narada Muni goes to Sri Vrindavan Dham. He goes to the gopis. And the gopis are asking, how is our Krishna in Dwarka? Very eager to know. And Narada Muni is saying, Krishna's form is very terrible. Krishna is in a very terrible state. What happened? He has got very terrible headache. And the gopis are saying, so what is the medicine? What can we do for him? Krishna has said that if he can apply the dust from the feet of his devotees, his headache will go away. That is the balm for him. And the gopis immediately started removing the dust from their feet, and they started giving. And when they were giving, Narada Muni said, wait a minute. I understand you're great devotees, but then do you know, if Krishna applies this dust on his head, you will have to suffer in hell. And the gopis said, if we can give pleasure to Krishna for even one moment, we are ready to suffer in hell for many, many lifetimes together, O Narada, no problem. This is the mood. This is the mood of the gopis. So therefore gopis, they render service on a different platform altogether. And here Bhīṣmadeva is remembering gopis. They are topmost devotees. And for two things Bhīṣmadeva is remembering. First, he is remembering the gopis to have their mercy. To have their mercy in the last stage of his life. Because at the last stage of our life, we need mercy of all the devotees. And here Bhīṣmadeva is remembering the gopis who are the topmost devotees. And second thing that Prabhupada writes is, Bhīṣmadeva is remembering the gopis. Because when the devotees are glorified, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is satisfied. So to satisfy Krishna, he glorified the gopis. So these are the two reasons which Prabhupada is giving in the purport. That he remembered the topmost devotee at the time of death, and second, he wanted to glorify the devotees just to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, here we understand that Bhīṣmadeva is remembering the gopis and the interaction of gopis with Krishna. And he starts describing more and more about these personalities. Three aspects of the Lord he is mentioning here in the shloka. What are the three aspects? Lalita Gati, Vilasa, Valguhasa. So it's talking about three things. Lalita Gati, attractive moments of Krishna. Lalita Gati, attractive moments. Now it is a known fact in the spiritual world, every walk is a dance. And every talk is a song. Very beautifully in Brahma Samhita, last shloka. All the ones who know can chant. Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpataravo Druma Bhumis Chintamani Ganamai Toyam Amritam Katha, Ganam, Natyam, Gamanamapi, Vamshi, Priya Sakhi. Here it comes. Katha, Ganam. So the Katha that is there, the talk that is there is Ganam, song. And Gamanamapi. So the walk that is there, that is Natyam, that is dance. Now just imagine, if Vrindavan Vasis, when they are walking, it's looking like dance. Now when our Krishna walks, how will that look? Very beautiful shloka which transformed the life of Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami was a Brahmavadi. He was attracted to Brahman. But this shloka transformed Shukadeva Goswami to a great devotee of Lord Krishna. Maybe you all can chant. Barha Pidam Natavaravapo Karnayo Karnikaram Bibhradvasaha Kanaka Kapisham Vaijayantim Chamalam Randhran Venuradhara Sudhaya Purayan Gopa Vrinday Vrindaranyam Swapadaramanam Pravishad Gita Kirtihi. So here it is said, Barha Pidam Natavaravapo. Krishna is having a beautiful peacock feather on the head. Natavaravapo. His entire form is that of a great dancer. Karnayo Karnikaram. He's having special flower in his ear. And acharyas are discussing amongst themselves. One flower or two flowers? Because they're 2 years. 2 years. So one flower, two flowers. And one acharya says, there's one flower. Krishna is keeping sometimes here, sometimes here. Acharyas that discuss amongst themselves and come to a wonderful conclusion. Vibhradvasa Kanaka Kapisham, and the dhoti that Krishna is wearing. See, the description remains consistent in the scriptures. The dhoti that Krishna is wearing is Kanaka Kapisham, is glittering like gold. And he's wearing Vaijayantim Chamalam. Vaijayanti Mala, or the forest flower garland, has got 5 colors. And that 5-colored garland Krishna is wearing. Randhran Venuradhara Sudhaya. He's playing flute. And when he's playing flute, the nectar of his mouth is entering the flute. And the sound is coming out. Vrindaranyam Swapadaramanam. And when he's walking in Vrindavan, entire land of Vrindavan is getting decorated by his footprints. And all the Gopas who are there, they're singing the glories of Krishna. The point that I wanted to make here was, when Krishna walks, he dances. And why he dances? Here it's very clear. Natavara Vapu, his entire body is of a dancer, but obviously he'll dance. And he proved his dancing skills at one point. Tell me if you remember. Yes. Kalya Damana Leela is that platform where Krishna proved, no one can be a better dancer than me. See, you can dance on a flat floor. Okay, chalo, even if it is bent, you can dance. Little bit. But then that bent platform, which is slippery, oh, very difficult to dance. And here Krishna proved, he was dancing from one hood to another and jumping. ऐसा नहीं कि एक ही hood पे dance करे. One hood to another. And the celestial beings were known as great dancers, Apsaras and Gandharvas. They're looking down and they're hiding their face with shame. My God, what dance this is. Amazing. He is that dancer who is walking, which Bhīṣmadeva is remembering. Lalita Gati, he says. Vilasa, fascinating activity. Whatever actions Krishna did in Vrindavan are fascinating, wonderful. He picked up Govardhan Hill with his left hand, little finger. Now the question was asked, then why Krishna picked up with left hand? Because he wanted to tell Brajavasi, ज़्यादा मेहनत नहीं है, छोटा ही है. With left hand, मेरे बाएं हाथ का खेल है. Just so that the Brajavasis remain cool, they don't get agitated. And his fascinating acts are discussed amongst the gopis. Again, repeat, a very, very wonderful shloka from Nectar of Devotion. Smeram bhangi traya parichitam. You should close your eyes and just listen, then you'll be able to repeat. These are all big shlokas. Smeram bhangi traya parichitam. Sachi vistirna drishtim Vamshinyastadharakishalaya Ujjvalam chandrikena Govindakhyam haritanumitaha Keshitirthopakanthe Ma prekshishthastava yadi sakhe Bandhu sange stirangah. One gopi is telling another gopi, don't go there. Don't go there. If you want to enjoy with your family members, don't go there. Immediately, what will be the question? When someone says, don't go there? Why? What is there in that place? And which place are you talking about? Don't go to Keshi Tirtha. Don't go to Keshi Tirtha where Krishna killed Keshi. Don't go there. Baba, what is there in that place? See, as soon as someone says, don't do that, know that we get desire to do that. And this is a technique of preaching which our acharyas use. Don't go there. Don't do this. They're asking, what is there in that place? Smeram Bhangi. There is a person standing in his Tribhanga form, in his threefold bent form. And Sachi Vistirna Drishtim. He's shooting arrows from the sidelong glance of his. He's standing in his threefold bent form and he's looking from sidelong, from the corner of his eyes. And he's shooting arrows at whoever comes there. And he's playing flute. Vamshinyastadharakishalaya. Ujjvalam chandrikena. He's standing under the Ujjvala, moon. And therefore it is said, don't go there. His name is Govinda. Whoever goes there, he shoots arrows from his sidelong glance and he'll be injured. And that injury is so deep, that after that you'll not be able to enjoy with your family members. Because the only love that you'll have is only for that person who has hit the arrow, Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Indirectly, Rupa Goswami is telling you foolish people, go to Keshi Tirtha. Go take darshan of Krishna and fall in love with him. Because he is the one who is the object of attraction for living entities of this world. Fascinating activities. He's standing and glancing itself is fascinating. Vilasa. Valgu Hasa. So three things. The first two that we discussed. First one was Lalita Gati. His attractive movements. And second is Vilasa, his fascinating activities. And the third thing that Bhīṣmadeva is remembering is Valgu Hasa. Krishna's smile. And gopis meditate on Krishna's smile. And they sing very, very beautifully in Gopi Geet, 10th canto, 31st chapter. Prahasitam priya prema vikshanam viharanam chate dhyana mangalam rahasi samvido yardi sprashah kuhakano manah shobhayantihi. So gopis, when they were left in Rasasthali alone, Krishna left them. At that time, gopis are singing this Viraha Geet and they are saying, Prahasitam Priya Prema Vikshanam. Oh Lord, we are remembering your beautiful smile. We are remembering our talks. We are remembering your sidelong glance, your glance of love onto us. Oh Lord, please come back. Where are you? Valgu Hasa, his sweet smiling. It is said, Vrajajanartihan Veera Yoshita Nijajana Smaya Dvamsana Smita. Anyone who looks at Krishna's smile, that person's all pride is shattered by that smile. Because that person understands nothing can be as great as Krishna's smile in this world. What am I in front of Krishna's smile? And his entire pride is broken into powder. Valgu Hasa. And then here it is said, finally, the last thing that Bhīṣmadeva is meditating on is Kritam anukrita vatyah unmadandah prakritim agan kilayasya gopa vadvaha. So gopis, Prabhupada is focusing on this point, that when they were left in the Rasasthali alone, in separation of Krishna, the separation was so intense that they started enacting Krishna's pastimes. And these pastimes which they have seen, which they have heard, they start enacting. And the acharyas describe which pastimes? Govardhan Leela. Some gopis are holding their dupatta, and one gopi is touching that as if the gopi is holding the Govardhan mountain. Another gopi, she becomes the Kaliya, and the another gopi climbs on her and starts dancing as if she is dancing on Kaliya, remembering Krishna. And then another gopi, yellow dupatta is there, and that is there in the mouth of the gopi, and she is enacting the pastime of swallowing the forest fire. This is called madness. And this madness comes when the devotee is completely absorbed in what? Completely absorbed remembering the pastimes of the Lord. And here Bhīṣmadeva, he's thinking about these pastimes, remembering these pastimes, and then finally, again and again he says, Pranaya nirīkṣya kalpita urumanaha. May that glorious personality who is attracted or who attracts the gopis and who is attracted by the devotion of gopis, may that personality be the object of my meditation. And say if we ask this question to Bhīṣmadeva, that so henceforth after this you are going to meditate on Radha and Krishna and the gopis? No, I am not qualified. I am not qualified to meditate on the pastimes of Krishna and the gopis. Look at the humility of Bhīṣmadeva. Because the next sloka after this, see now he is describing gopis. Next sloka should have been more pastimes about them. But the next sloka talks about Rajasuya sacrifice. Suddenly the entire scene changes from Vrindavan to Rajasuya sacrifice. Therefore, it's very important as devotees, we understand our level, and accordingly, we hear, we read, and we render devotional service. Therefore, it's very important that we be under always guidance of some devotee. Because those devotees can guide us what next to do. When we are not under guidance, we will do hilarious activities in our life and spoil our devotional life. Therefore, every devotee who is there under the guidance in the Guru Parampara, bona fide guidance, at that time the devotee advances very nicely in Krishna consciousness. But if the devotee is not under guidance, after going through the entire Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagyavan Jeev, now he has got the mercy of the Lord, and now, unfortunately, because there is no guidance, the devotee will not be able to advance, will not be able to progress. Therefore, by these pastimes, we understand two things. One is, it's very, very important to be under the guidance, and it's very important to express gratitude to that person who has connected us to Krishna. And here we saw Bhīṣmadeva. He was remembering Arjuna, and he's relating Krishna to Arjuna, and he's glorifying Krishna. And second very, very important thing that we can understand here is again and again in every shloka, Bhīṣmadeva is just putting forward one Moola Vakya, that may my mati be always fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna. If you ask Bhīṣmadeva, Bhīṣmadeva, now you're at the deathbed, what do you want? And Bhīṣmadeva's only answer is, I don't want anything, I just want Krishna. This is the desire that we have to develop in our day-to-day life when we are rendering devotional service. Therefore, in this Bhīṣma Panchak Vrata that we are doing, so in that, meditating on these glorious prayers of Bhīṣmadeva and praying to Bhīṣmadeva, you are so fortunate, you are there on the deathbed and Krishna was standing in front of you, you are meditating on Krishna, but my situation is pathetic. Even when I am there in front of the altar, I am not able to see the Lord. Bhīṣmadeva, please bless me, that I remain very loyal to the Guru Parampara and execute their instruction and get an iota of attraction, iota of ocean of attraction that you have. Bhīṣmadeva, please bless me. And we can always express our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada when we are glorifying Bhīṣmadeva also. Because Srila Prabhupada is that personality who left his body like Bhīṣmadeva. Bhīṣmadeva was on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra, Kurukshetra Dham, and Prabhupada was there in Vrindavan Dham. Bhīṣmadeva, he had Krishna standing in front of him. And for Srila Prabhupada, Krishna was standing in front of him in the form of his holy name and Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhīṣmadeva left his body when there were people from all around the world who came there to witness what's happening there. And Srila Prabhupada left his body from devotees from all over the world when they came to witness Srila Prabhupada's final moments. And in this way, chanting the holy names and teaching us the art of dying. Srila Prabhupada left this world the way Bhīṣmadeva left this world, going back home, back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Bhīṣma Panchakrata ki Jai.